The most recognizable ship in Carnival's fleet is heading into dry dock to receive a brand new funnel. I'll give you all the updates. Are we going to see the fat funnel on the Carnival Fire? Plus, Australia, 4 years later, is catching up to what the rest of the world is doing. Oh, and cookies on your next celebrity cruise? Well, they might be off the menu. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thank you, cruise nerds, for stopping by the channel today. That's right, we're getting into the fall in some places, so I'm showing off the fall clothing line here for the Midships Amazon store, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for the cruise news, and we got news coming out from Carnival that their most recognizable ship is going in for a dry dock for a major facelift. Let's rewind the clocks. This was the scene over in Grand Turk in May of 2022 when the Carnival Freedom had her funnel catch fire in Grand Turk, and the drama ensued with all of the videos flooding social media for weeks and months on end. I mean, it's just hard to look away from something like that happening. Well, guess what? Fast forward, and the Carnival Fire, previously named the Carnival Freedom, she's heading into dry dock later on this year, and she's gonna get her funnel replaced. Now that begs the question, is Carnival just gonna replace the top of the funnel, put the wings back on, and call it a day? That's probably most likely what they're gonna do. But this would be a good opportunity for Carnival to, say, adopt the fat funnel. I know that's probably not the best terminology for it, but the wide rounder funnel that's found on their newer Excel class of ships, the Celebration, the Mardi Gras, the Jubilee, they all have this shorter, wider funnel. I'm not sure what the logic was behind that funnel design on the new ships, but is this a benefit that Carnival might consider bringing to the Freedom or the Fire when she goes into dry dock? Now, interestingly enough, you as a cruiser, you would technically have the opportunity to take the last cruise on the Carnival Flat Top and take the first cruise on the Carnival Freedom with new funnel, because it's doing a transatlantic crossing over, going into dry dock for a month, and then transatlantic crossing right back. So you could technically sail back to back on this ship and have it be two completely different looking cruise ships. I think that's a pretty cool thing. I've definitely considered this transatlantic crossing, at least the over with the total flat top, just to say, hey, I was there. I was on the flat top ship. Now, luckily, Carnival's been dingling some $50 cruises in my back end because I gamble. And the Carnival Fire, the Carnival Freedom, is one of those. So I might have a chance here in Port Canaveral just to pop on a 4-day cruise. You know, you got to go on this ship while it looks just so strange. Have you seen the Carnival Freedom in any of the cruise ports ever since they just chopped the funnel off the top? I know every time I run across it, it's striking. It's just so weird. It's like you remember that scene from the movie Airplane where they portray the plane tails as shark fins, like the Jaws music plays, bum, 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 and you see the tails coming across. Well, that's kind of what I see in my mind when I see the Carnival Freedom in port, because it's just a fish out of water. You know what's not a fish out of water? Any cruisers that prepare for their cruise ahead of time by heading to the Midships Amazon store. In there, you can find everything I personally will not cruise without, and I found that out the hard way recently by forgetting some of these things. You should check it out. There's a link in the description down below. You can find the full line of Cruise Nerd merch in there, t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Holy cow, I think there's a little bit of everything for you guys and you gals. Now let's keep the cruise news moving. We've got to go over to Australia. Yeah, we're going to a land down under. Well, many of you will remember that in 2020, cruising shut down because everybody started getting sick, and there was a very contagious thing going around the world. And since cruising restarted, well, at first, the cruise restart was very strict on your policies and your procedures about cleaning and testing and receiving certain medicines before you could go. Well, fast forward a year, and most of those protocols had gone by the wayside or were not being as thoroughly enforced, save for in one place, which is still enforcing those protocols like it was 2020. That place, of course, is Australia. Now, I know there's a few other countries that are still enforcing protocols, but for a first world country like Australia to still be doing it is a little bit shocking, to say the least. Well, they've just recently announced that that is slated to go away in the future here. So what are your thoughts on this? Is it strange that you could literally go and cruise in a place that would be like basically getting in a time machine and heading back almost 2 years in human knowledge and just go back into time, and that's kind of where they're stuck? Or do you think they're the smart ones and we're the suckers getting sick on our cruises? I know I got sick on a recent cruise. Hey, maybe if I was in Australia, I wouldn't have. Who knows? Where are my Port Canaveral cruisers? I'm looking at you. I'm one of them. I love cruising out of Port Canaveral. The one hiccup over in Port Canaveral is there's not much parking available. Sometimes it's hard to find. You got to go third party and shuttle bus in. Well, by the end of next year, all of that should be fixed, as Port Canaveral just voted to spend nearly $70 million to construct 3,000 additional parking spaces in the actual port facility. So good news coming to your Port Canaveral cruisers. Some free parking. Yeah, right. Some parking available on your next cruise. Free and cruising. Yeah, right. Speaking of things not being free anymore, celebrity cruise line like sister cruise line Royal Caribbean, well, they're raising prices and not telling us cruisers yet again. Some folks on some recent celebrity cruises have started to notice that the free cookies appear to be going away on some celebrity cruises, costing now as much as $2.40 for the same thing that was free last week. Gotta love it. If you made it this far into today's episode, please make sure you get subscribed to the channel. While you're down there subscribing, slam that thumbs up button if you think we should all cruise once on the Carnival Freedom before she gets her funnel back. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today, and until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. I hope you have an amazing weekend. See you tomorrow. La 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 la.